Morning, guys. Morning, Josiah, Mark, and good morning, Tef, and Brian, and everybody, man. All the Marks, and I know Jimmy's watching. I know Mike's watching. I know all the guys, right? Tyler and the other Tyler, not the third Tyler. Anyway, Josiah mentioned his beautiful day, Puerto Morealis. Okay. I'm going to get down to the beach in a minute. The beach is that way. I'm going to walk up the beach over to the juice place, get a nice juice, and I'm going to make a tiny video, a little video of just kind of a scenic video of where I'm traveling, what I'm doing, what things cost, how much the juice is, what goes in the juice, stuff like that. It'd be kind of fun. It's south of Cancun here, so it's a lot different, but it's nice. It's a beautiful day. But let's talk about recovery for a few minutes, hopefully not too long. But Josiah mentioned doing a step 2 video, and that's not easy to do short videos, as you know, because there's no really point to get to. It's everything is important, but I'll try to keep it short. We're a minute in already, so we talked about step 1. I don't want to get off step 1. We're going to keep talking about step 1 probably the rest of our lives. The only reason I'm doing this video is because of step 1, because I'm admitting I'm powerless over alcohol, and unless I do something about it, I'm going to go back to drinking. So step 1 is basically just the problem step. That's when we go back to insanity or death, right? That's when we go back to drinking by itself, right? And then, chapter 2 talks about there's a solution, right? We talked a little bit about that last time, and talked about the crux of the problem, page 35, right? And then on 43, it's worth repeating, it said once more and this is where step 2 is kind of where we transition from 1 to 2 in the book. And, it says at certain times, the alcoholic has no effective mental defense against the first drink. Neither he nor any other human being can provide such a defense. His defense must come from a higher power. So we can't recover on our own. We need a program. We need a higher power. Okay. So, how and where are we going to find that power? Step 2 says we had to believe. What do we got to believe in, right? Do we got to believe in God at step 2? I don't think so, because if you go to page 45, they start talking about step 2. It says lack of power. That was our dilemma. We had to find a power by which we could live, okay? Live life, right, without drinking. And it had to be a power greater than ourselves, obviously, right? It can't be a doorknob. It has to be a power greater than me, right? And I call it God, right? But where and how were we to find this power? Well, that's exactly what this book is about. Its main object is to enable you to find a power greater than yourself, which will solve your problem. The problem is that obsession. The problem is that state of mind, I'll repeat it again, that mental state that precedes a relapse into drinking. The problem centers in my mind. And I'm restless, and I'm irritable, and I'm discontent. I'll say it again. And I'm so uncomfortable that I start thinking about the ease and comfort that comes at once, taking a few drinks. So that's step 1. Step 2 is, if you're powerless over alcohol, what's the solution? Power. If the problem is powerless, the solution is power. So what are we really supposed to believe in step 2? It doesn't say we have to believe in God, because it says that's exactly what this book is about. If I could believe in God in step 2, and if I could turn my will and my life over to the care of God in step 3, and I could do that in 2 and 3, I wouldn't need the rest of the steps. I'd be good. I'm connected with God. I'm doing God's will. I'm fine. But it doesn't say that. It says, do you believe you can be restored to sanity? That's what it says. Any AA meeting is evident of that. When I was new, I was kind of an atheist, and I kind of thought to myself, if there is no God, and these guys are staying sober, I better do what they're doing. And if there is a God, and that's how these guys are staying sober, I better find him now. How are they staying sober? If there is a God, I better find him now. How am I going to find him now? That's exactly what this book is about. Without this book, that page is telling me that I'm powerless over alcohol. I'll go back to drinking again. I'm powerless over alcohol. So I got to do what the book says. But before I start doing what the book says, I got to understand what the problem is. Step 1, we talked about that. I got to understand there is a solution, okay? Step 2, and then I got to make a decision to do this thing. I got to make a decision to turn my will and my life, which is my thinking, that's my will, and my life is just my actions, right? I'm going to actually turn my will in my life over the care of God. I'm going to make a decision to do that based on what? Steps 1 and 2. Insanity or death, step 1, or life on a spiritual basis, step 2. I'll take door number 2 every time. So if I pick door number 2, if I make a decision at 3 to live life on a spiritual basis, I better get busy with these steps, or I'm going to go back to drinking. I might even die, right? And where is this power? So we know how we find it. That's the book. And where is it? If you go to page 55, it says it real quick. It says, actually, we were fooling ourselves. For deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It may be obscured by calamity, by pomp, by worship of other things, but in some form or other it is there. For faith in a power greater than ourselves and miraculous demonstrations of the power in human lives are facts as old as man himself. We finally saw that faith in some kind of God was a part of our makeup. Just as much as the feeling we had for a friend, sometimes we had to search fearlessly. But it was down there, but it's blocked, man. It's blocked by the calamity and pomp and worship of other things, worship of sex and security and money and prestige and reputation. That's what it's blocked by, you know. So, you know, the video is getting kind of long, but like step 2 is, to me, is a simple step. We just have to believe that we can be restored to sanity. And when I first got to AA, I realized people were being restored to sanity. They weren't drinking, and they seemed to be living happy lives. You know, maybe I should do what they're doing. You know, and I didn't really believe in God at step 2, but I did believe I could be restored to sanity. I did believe that, and I have to believe that. If not, I'm not going to make that decision in step 3. I'll go to the doctor, and I don't think the doctor can help. That medicine can help me. I'm probably not going to take the medicine. So I have to believe this medicine works. I think that's all I'll talk about. It's 7 minutes in now, but you know, we're going to keep going over 1, 2, and 3 a little bit, but I just want you guys to know that step 2 can be a pretty easy step, because they're not trying to make you believe in God. They're trying to persuade you to believe that this thing works, man. Like, this really works. You can really be restored to sanity if you work these steps, and keeping it simple. I think that's how we can keep it simple. So thanks, guys. Love you all. I'm going to put this on YouTube and upload it. Hopefully it turns out okay. All right. Love you all.